Welcome to my channel. This video is an interview of a natural herbal tea that I have been using for quite some time. This tea has also assisted in my hair growth. It has helped so many others. Now, this is just one product that has helped me and my hair growth. I also changed my eating habits and exercise. So listen to my testimony.
Special guest with us, and it's Magdalene Williams. Welcome to the show.
Hi, David.
Hi. Pastor Jones, perhaps you could introduce Magdalene a little further, and she could tell us a little bit about her area of expertise, because she does indeed have one.
Oh, that she does. She works with me on our show that we do on WRNA Radio every Thursday here in Pensacola, and that is a local show. And Mrs. Williams has been with me there on the show for about 12, 13 years.
Yes.
There you go. And she's quite familiar with being before the cameras and before the mic. So, but she has a special testimony. In fact, testimonies. But I'm gonna let Mrs. Magdalene Williams tell you about her testimony concerning what she went through and what the tea was able to do for her.
So we're talking about the Old Path tea. You have some familiarity with the tea, I understand.
Yes, I've been on the Old Path herbal tea now approximately, David, 13 years. I started out taking the tea approximately 13 years ago for seizure disorders. I was on so much medication, starting from Dilantin to Depakote, and this medication really, it zombified my body. I just did not have a life. I was taking 500 milligrams a day of Dilantin in order to combat the seizures, and I still would have seizures. But some years back, my husband introduced me to the Old Path herbal tea. Thank God that he did. And I began taking the tea for my seizure disorders. Now, I was taking up to 5 cups a day for my seizures. And the more that I would take the tea, the more that I would see a difference in the reactions of my seizures. They weren't coming as strong or as heavy before I started taking the tea. And the more that I took this tea, I tell you, the more I take the tea, the more I take the tea, and the more I take the tea, my seizures began to dissipate. Not only that, but the medication that I was on, I was taken off of the medication. I was able to get my license back, because when you're having seizures, they took my license. So I didn't have a life for a long time. But when I started drinking the Old Path herbal tea, this gave me back my life again. And I tell you, it was just a joy to find a product, something that I could take, a tea. I really don't like the taste of it, and and he knows, Pastor Jones knows, I don't like the taste of the tea, but I drink it very quickly, because herbs is bitter. Okay, I'm sorry, it is bitter, but I drink now just 1 cup a day for just to keep my routine up. But I'm not having seizures, and that's the most important part about it.
What about all the drugs?
I'm medication free now, David. I have been medication free now for approximately 6 years, and I'm loving that because of the side effects of the drugs. The drugs were so strong. Not only did they try to combat my seizures, but like I said, I would sleep my life away. But I guess they did what they had to do. But I was glad that my husband introduced me to a product called the Old Path herbal tea.
Now, you're welcome to join us, 432-7768 or 1-800-950-2522. We are live, as I mentioned earlier in the show. And the Old Path tea, though, will address a myriad of conditions. And I understand a little later in the show, you're going to talk about another area in which it may have assisted you. And I think we have some photos to look at later. But let me just ask another question. You mentioned that you'd lost your license, and that would be your driver's license, that, you know, that thing that we all really need to get around. And when that goes away, there goes your life, right?
Of course.
So, you know, the seizures are one thing, but when they grab the license, that's really bad. So at some point, though, you had to go back to a doctor. A doctor had to clear you. So you were taking less and less of the medicine, from the prescribed medicine by the doctors, and you were just taking the tea, and the tea cleared up. In your mind, the tea has cured you of the seizures. Is it fair to say?
That is fair to say. That is correct.
So what did the doctor say when you went back and you said, "Hey, I don't need you or your stinking medicine, but I want my license back, and I'm not having any seizures, and the tea has done the job." What did the doctor say?
I just love what you just said, but I didn't tell the doctor that. No. What happened was, as I began to take the Old Path herbal tea, it gave me the energy that I needed. It gave me the oomph that I needed, my life back. I no longer was taking as much of the medication, so that's why he began to take me off of the medication. And sometimes I don't think he was taking me off quick enough, because the tea was giving me so much energy that I was saying to myself, okay, listen, I don't need this. So in some ways, I did kind of like weaned off maybe quicker than maybe what he has done. Now, I'm not telling anyone to do that. If your doctor has you on medication, you stay on your medication until he takes you off. I'm only telling you my experience and what the tea had did for me, that I understood my body was reacting in manners that it wasn't before. So I knew, I'm like, this is great. This is great. So that's why I, like I say, I got off of it maybe sooner than maybe he wanted me to.
The doctor, gave you a clean bill of health as far as getting your license back.
Yeah, I got my license back. Because see, one thing about having seizures, they would have to take your levels so often and see if they're up higher if you're on the medication. Well, since I wasn't having seizures anymore during a time period frame, then I could go back, get my license, and start driving again and have my life again. I tell Pastor Jones all the time, I have a life again because of the Old Path herbal tea. You say something that simple? Yes, it was that simple for me. So if anyone out there that's having seizure disorders, can take your medication that your doctors prescribe, but I definitely want you to try the Old Path herbal tea.
That sounds like quite the testimony there. A little later in the show, you've got another amazing testimony to share with us. However, let me just ask the pastor. I know that the formula really has not changed one iota for the past few decades. That's fair to say, isn't it?
31 years.
Right. And some people actually like the taste. A lot of people complain about it. I didn't like the taste of tea when I first started drinking it. I really enjoy it now. So some people that to grow on them. So
Learn to acquire a taste for
an
it.
acquired taste.
It didn't grow on me.
It didn't.
No,
All these years.
it did not grow
But
on me.
you're willing to drink the tea.
Because I know it's good for me, and so anything that's good for me, I'm going to do as much as I can. Now, I also changed my eating habit now, and I also began an exercise regimen too. So not only does the tea help you, but you have to change your eating habits, because what you're going to be doing is fighting against what the tea is trying to do, rebuild your body. So I stopped doing and drinking a lot of different stuff, taking a little, stuff that I was taking, and I began to just drink the tea, change my eating habits, and I began to an exercise regimen. My husband and I began that together, and so it has really, really been so helpful in keeping my health increased.
Tea do to help with things like a bacterial infection that antibiotics are going to soon totally fail to do, but right now are crippled in many ways.
Well, the antibiotics that man has been making now have become less and less effective. Really, in reality, we have gone over an antibiotic cliff. So you look at penicillin when it first came out, it was a cure for everything. Amoxicillin, that had so many offspring from the regular penicillin, and they did a lot of adding of different chemicals to the penicillin, and they did different things to it. But over the years, the body has become aware of the antibiotics, and it has adjusted to it. And these superbugs, such as bacteria, have mutated to the point where these antibiotics will do no good now. So therefore, where do you go? Back to nature. We were made from the earth, created, as the Bible tells us in Genesis. And when you take our tea, you are taking what you were created from, the earth. You are taking in your vitamins, your minerals, your amino acids, all 12 of your cell salts, your omega-3, omega-6, omega-9 fatty acids, your 7 forms of fiber, your probiotic, which is friendly bacteria, because without friendly bacteria, you or I could not digest the food. So therefore, when you're taking all these different medications, it erodes the bacteria that's in your gut. And what our tea does is restore those friendly bacteria, as it does all the other nutrients. Our tea addresses all 12 systems of the body, which covers 75 trillion cells of the human body. It detoxifies all the toxins that's in every cell, it cleans the cells out, then the body is ready to heal itself. And we have the raw material that's in our tea for the body to heal itself. All the body has to do is absorb these nutrients into the cells, like in the case of Mrs. Williams. She needed certain raw material for the body to correct herself of seizures. I've had kids who have had seizures that were taken out of school because they were having the seizures so often, so they had to remove them from school. But after I put them on the tea, now they went back to school and graduated, and one of them has married.
I love a happy ending.
I love it as well, but this is God's way.
So the tea will actually address numerous conditions.
Yes, we're over 200 different conditions and still counting. I used to have on my website for many years all kinds of cancers. And of course, I've had many people out here who have had cancer, such as Mrs. DuBose, who had double breast cancer and ovarian cancer. And her hair was short when she started taking the tea. And now, the last time she was on the show, her hair is all the way down her back. And
Right.
she said, it's all because of the tea.
I always thought the saying was hair today, gone tomorrow, but you know, with the tea, there can be a different outcome.
Well, the thing about that is, if the hair has, if there's life in that follicle, the hair will grow. But if there's no life in that follicle, that hair is not going to grow back. So as long as there is some life in that follicle, that hair is going to grow.
Well, we've got some lively follicles for you, and we're going to talk to you about them right after this short break. Stay right with us.